Howdy folks, StrayCat74 here. We're going to be doing something a little different. I have heard in the past that there is a very big difference in the potency between really old powder and really new powder. This is Red Dot, same stuff, but this I bought a year or two ago, and this I got fairly recently, and as you can tell, this is a really old container. I don't know if it's viable, I don't know what its potency is, so that's what we're going to find out. We're going to load 8 rounds of each, the exact same, and then we'll put them through the chronometer, or the chronograph. Chronometer, I'm going to shoot my watch. Yeah, you can tell I need more coffee. So we're going to do 6.5 grains. Again, don't use this recipe. Come up with your own or get it out of the manuals. This I actually did get out of the Hornaday website, so look it up yourself. Don't trust me. I'm just some yahoo in a basement. So we need to turn this on. It's teared out. We're going to start with the new stuff. I want 6.5 grains. And we want to be as consistent as possible. Okay, exactly 6.5 grains. I know you're probably not going to be able to read that on the counter here. So I'm going to powder all of these up and then bullet them nice and quick. Well, supposedly. Way too much. A little bit too much. Okay, exactly 6.5. Yeah, this is going to be exciting stuff here. So, for this portion of the video anyway, it's going to be me dipping and measuring. Yeah, I know, the dip is already on the screen. 4, 5, 6.2, 6.6, 6.5. Now some very sharp people may have noticed there are 9 on this side and only 8 on that side. That's because I had 17 unloaded cases. So yes, we're going to have 1 extra of the new stuff, but might as well load it. I'm already here. These are Hornaday brass with CCI large pistol primers. Not magnums, not anything like that, just straight up large pistol. Three, 4, 5, 2, 8, 6, 2, 6, 3, 6, 4, 6, 5. Now the reason I'm using the stoneware bowl is because the powder doesn't stick to this. I tried using a plastic container, and you'll see that I have a used pill bottle of the old stuff, and that's 60 grains right there. Should be more than enough to do 8 bullets at 6.5 each. But it was sticking to the inside of that because of static electricity, so I don't want to screw it up any more than I probably already am. Four. 5. 6, 2. 6, 4. 6, 5. Four, 5, 7, 5, 8, 5, 9, 6, 2, 6, 5. Am I being picky? Yes, I am, because I want as consistent of a load on these as I can get. If all 17 of these have exactly the same powder, I'm still going to get a certain amount of variance as far as the ballistics or the feet per second go. And we're going to put it through the chronograph probably tomorrow if it's, not raining. It's been doing that a lot lately. I'm also trying to not breathe on the scale because I don't want to throw it off with my breath. The last couple of people I asked out on a date, I threw them off with my breath. So yeah, I went there before you did. Now, in a 44 Magnum case, being off by even a half a grain is not that big of a deal. But, I mean, that's for like plinking shooting. I'm going to be shooting these mother buggers out of there. These things are expensive, so I want to see the results. I want to see the difference between these two powders. The same make, decades apart. So I want to know if it's true that older powder is more potent because it's been sitting around. So let's see, 5, 6, 2, 6, 3, 6, 5. Well, that was really good. 6, 5. And I did try to calculate this out a little bit before, and as you can see, I probably got about 4 grains of powder left. I'm going to dump this out because it's not worth putting back into the other container. I'm going to wipe out this bowl so there's no possibility of cross-contamination between the two powders that are going to burn, but I'll be back in just 1 second. I'll let you stare at the meter for a moment. As clean as I can get it with a red rag. I don't want to leave any liquid residue behind. Now what we're going to do is we're going to turn this 180 degrees. So I already have what I believe is 60 grains of powder here. And it should only take, well, at 6.5, that should be right at like 52 grains. But I wanted to have a little bit more powder in the bowl than I absolutely needed, but not by a lot. I don't want to waste much. Same dipper, same scale. Five. 5, 8. 6, 8, way too much. 6.6. 6.4. 3 flakes too many. There we go. 6.5. Visual check just to make sure. Yep. All of those are powdered. One of these is powdered. So, yeah, when you're doing it this way, always double check. I'll deal with that later. Trying to not breathe on the thing. move the funnel. Five, 8. 6, 7. 6, 3. 6, 6. 6, 5. Oh. Trying to get as much of this in the screen as possible. Six, 5. For some reason it kept going up and down. I think it's because I was breathing on it still. Breathing, it's a nasty habit when you're trying to reload, precise amounts. Six, 5. Okay. 3 more. Okay, that's still zeroed. Damn. 6, 4. 6, 6. 6, 5. I think I overestimated how much powder I was going to need here. Whoa, 8. That's way too much. 7, 2. 6, 6. 6, 5. 6-1. 6-3. 6-5, and you can see how much powder we have left. Not a whole heck of a lot. I think you can see that, maybe. I can't see the screen. I'm using a different camera now. So, now that that's done, power off, set this aside. I've got a case. These are some test bullets from a different batch that I did, and I don't remember what the hell they were, but I'm going to put them in the same case because I don't have another one handy. Let me dispose of this powder right quick. And now the fun bit. I'm going to move these over here. These here. That there. And I'm going to do 8 and then skip a row and then 8 more so that when we come back to shoot these, you'll be able to see there's 10 here, then there's 8 and 9. Yeah. The second row I'll make the 9s. That'll be the new stuff. But we put, we set, and then we ram it up inside. And that's what these are going to look like. I think that's going to need to go in just a little bit more. Let me double check the overall length. Yeah, those are 1.7 exactly. I'm going to need to turn that in at least 1/10 of an inch more. And since I hadn't set this before, this is going to be just a little trial and error. One full turn in, because it doesn't seem like it wants to go very quickly. Okay, 1.62, very, very close. We want 1.6 even. So we're going to go that far. That far again, and this should be 1.6 even. Perfect. Yeah, I'm trying to do this so that you can see everything. The handle's going to get in the way. There's nothing I can do about that until I go like this, but then you miss what's going on up in here. I don't have a light kit for this one the way I have for my Dylan, which is just out of frame over here, by the way. But you know, I've got as much light as I can get in here right now, so without wearing a headlamp, and then half the time it'd be shining in the screen, so I'm sure you wouldn't like that. Well, maybe you wouldn't. If it was shining into the screen, you wouldn't be having to look at this. 6. 7. 8. Now we're going to skip a row. Turn these around, and I've got 9 of these. You'll notice I'm putting my finger on the top here. That's because, once I sneezed and blew half the powder out and had to start over on that one. It was annoying. And I'd rather keep this all on one take so that you can see I haven't fiddled with nothing. Just a fraction long. 1.61. But I'm sure there's some margin of error. As long as the cylinder will close and rotate, I don't foresee a big issue here. And I'm not going to stop in the middle of this to double check. I can come back and double check afterward. Because it ain't but turning that a little bit to make it sit just a fraction of an inch deeper. Important safety note, the little red bit goes up. Don't try and put it down. That'll probably not work so well. I honestly don't know if it'll work very well. That'd be like a full wad cutter. When I have some more empty cases, maybe I'll try that just for, just for funsies. I don't anticipate it making a great deal of difference in the feet per second, especially if I'm consistent with the powder load, but I don't have any way to do ballistic gel or other target medium other than, steel or paper. So if it goes bang and goes clang, it hit the steel. If it goes bang and goes rip, then it hit the paper. So 90% of my reloading is for plinking purposes only. So most of the time being off, like I said, a half a grain on most loads is no big deal to me, because I'm not shooting competition. I don't need that level of consistency. I want that level of consistency in these just so that I can see the difference between the two powders. I don't know if this red dot is safe to use. If I get significantly higher feet per second than I'm expecting, then the old wives' tale of powder getting more potent would be true, and I'll either have to cut back on that or dump it out and burn it, just to be on the safe side. Because if I can't get